Welcome to the 16th episode of the Building Interactive website series, which will go over some more string properties and methods. So there are some cases when users type text that we might not necessarily expect. In this case specifically, with added spacing around them. Either they might not have noticed this, or some spaces might just have been appended to the start and end mistakenly. But we can correct that by making use of the .trim method, which gets rid of any white space at the start and end of a string. So for example, if I were to type hi but with extra spaces, then you can see the trim method gets rid of that, and it just returns the two letters. However, if I were to say hi there, then it would keep the space between the hi and the there because it only looks at the start and end of a string for white space. So the actual content in the string is mostly preserved. The second method we'll be going over in this video is .slice. This method takes two arguments and it allows you to extract a substring or a shorter string out of a longer string. I'm making use of two indexes. The first value is the starting index, where the extraction will start. So for example, if I were to start at index 0, I would start the first letter, so this H here in this case. And 3 is the ending index, which is excluded from the resulting substring. A common mistake is that people think that the index 3 is included when it's actually not. So from 0 to 3 actually means 0, 1, and 2, or HEL. So if we were to run it, you can see this is what's printed out. There are also cases when you want to replace some text in a string with something else. And the way you do this is by using the .replace method. This method takes two strings as arguments, and the first one is a string that you want to replace, and the second string is going to be the replacement string. So let's say I wanted to replace all the A's in a string with underscores. And if I were to say JS, which is JavaScript, is awesome, then you can see the A gets replaced with an underscore. However, if I were to say JavaScript, JS full abbreviation, then you can see only the first A gets replaced. And this is because the .replace method by default only replaces the first occurrence of this replaced substring. So only the first A is replaced in this case. To fix that, we can use the replace all method, which replaces all occurrences of this substring. So if we were to submit this again, you can see all the A's are replaced now. The second to last method that we're going to go over is .repeat. And this is used to repeat the text multiple times. You can give the number of times that you want the text to repeat as a number in the parentheses. So for example, if I wanted the string to be repeated 6 times, and if I were to say hi, for example, you can see 6 highs. Because there are no spaces here, there are no spaces in the resulting string either. However, if I were to add a space here, you can see hi with the space at the end is repeated 6 times. The final method that we're going to go over in this video is the dot split method. And what this allows you to do is split the string based on a separator string, which I'm going to use a space for. And what this will do is it will return an array containing all the separated strings. So if I were to say my name is Dr. Arman, you can see my name is and Dr. Arman are all separate strings in this array that comes from using the dot split method. This is useful when you want to extract words from a sentence, or in forms when you allow multiple things to be included in a text box and you want to separate them so that you can look at each of them individually. For even more string methods, I've linked this MDN page in the description, which has a lot more that we haven't covered here. So if you're curious about how to manipulate strings further, make sure to look at this page. This finishes episode 16 of the Building Interactive website series. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure to look out for episode 17.